Check. Good. So I'm Ceron, CWB Association Welding Podcast. Today we have a really cool guest, Welding Podcast.
The show is about to begin.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the CWB Association Welding Podcast. My name is Daniela Torelli, and I am here, the podcast manager and welding technical advisor here at the CWB Association. And I am sitting in the wrong seat. I'm here with Max Ceron. I've stolen the show. We have a very special episode today that we are going to be recording here in person at the Association for Women in the Metal Industry Conference, AWMI. We are in Nashville, Tennessee. My favorite. I'm so excited to be here because you know me, I love some country music. Max, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for having me.
It took us about 20 minutes to start because it is not easy to be sitting in this seat, as Max has just made it clear to me. It's my third time now.
Third time. Are we counting the time you stole the mic with Kevin?
Yeah, that was.
Okay, all right, yep.
That's 3 times, yeah. So it's still does not get easier, even though there's like nobody else in this room. As soon as you were sitting in the seat and all the cameras are looking at you, and of course my boss next to me is nerve-wracking as can be.
Well, I hope I can make this easier for you by being a good guest.
Thank you so much, Max, for being here with me today. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule.
No problem.
So we are here at the AWMI annual conference. Today is our podcast recording day. We've recorded a few episodes already, and we've got some more afterwards and this afternoon. And this is our first time at their annual conference, and we so far are having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
The conference doesn't really kick off until tomorrow. So we've got 2 days of some tours, networking events, panels, keynotes. I mean, it's going to be a blast. And as you've kind of mentioned in some previous episodes, this is really like our first time where we're actually going to be able to sit and enjoy and listen and actually educate ourselves, because normally we're so busy, we're running around to doing all the things with the podcast and all your speaking presentations, and you're not speaking at this conference. We're actually going to be able to sit in the audience and take it all in, which is super exciting.
Pumped.
So excited. So we have some really great episodes for everybody. And I mean, I personally am just so excited to be here. I mean, even when you're looking in the hotel lobby, it's filled with women.
Mm-hmm.
And to be at, at a conference that is primarily going to be women. There are, of course, male members of AWMI, but primarily it's going to be women. And, we're both going to learn so much being here. So I'm super pumped. We're super pumped to meet the rest of the Toronto chapter, because we are part of the Toronto chapter, and also our association is a part of a corporate sponsor of a WMI organization. So, as two not-for-profits associations coming together and networking and bonding and coming up with crazy ideas of things that we can do together. We've already done, so much together already, and we're really, really looking forward to doing more. And so this is the right place to be. Are you pumped?
Cool. Is this when I get to talk? No.
Sorry. See, then once the nerves kind of, I'm Italian. We talk so much. Like, it's just the nerves kind of cool off, and then I just ramble and I don't stop. So this is, it's going to go by real quick, Max, as we've talked. And, that's actually something that's come up in the previous podcast today of, the few women that we've had in that seat. They were so nervous, so nervous. And, one of the ladies said, she's been in the industry for so many years and she shouldn't be nervous, but she is. It's a nerve-wracking thing to do. And Becky Dolan made a great point of saying, because of AWMI, I'm able to sit in this seat confidently. And, the resources and the education that they provide to their members of training of, building confidence in mentorship. So, this is the point of me doing this too for myself, is so that I kind of get over my fear of public speaking and talking into a microphone. I mean, it's nerve-wracking to anybody to really do it. It doesn't matter your gender. It is a nerve-wracking thing. So, and that was one of the things that got brought up today in some of the recent podcasts of mentorship and those tools to help you grow personal and professional as well. So yeah, here we go.
Correct.
So anyways, this is a super exciting episode that we are bringing to our listeners because it is our 200th episode. Woo! I feel like I should know how to do the buttons, but I don't remember. But but this is so exciting. When we actually celebrated our 100th episode, we recorded it at FabTech in Chicago.
2 years ago.
I'm drawing a blank. Yeah.
No, 2 years ago would have been Atlanta.
Might have been Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 years ago. Yeah. Podcast.
2 years ago.
FabTech.
We do 50 a year,
I
so
know.
let's do the math.
Yeah. So yeah, and I recorded you. I interviewed you,
Mm-hmm.
and so we thought, better keep that tradition alive. And every 100 episodes, I at least get 2 years to practice and to get my.
You'd never tell.
Yeah, you can never tell the 20 minutes it took me to start. But we're so at our 100th episode, I interviewed you,
Mm-hmm.
and we asked our listeners to provide us with questions.
Right.
We really wanted to change it up. I wanted to change it up this year.
This is all you.
This is me. So we are going to do a little bit of a podcast trivia of, looking back at all the episodes that we've done, 200, to test Max's memory to see
Oh, boy.
if he remembers the episodes and the guests that we've recorded. It's hard because that is 200 guests and we meet
And
so
outside
many.
of all the people we meet in our normal work
Yes.
life.
And we've got more. I mean,
Mhm.
even just to say right now, we've got a whole bunch in the queue in the lineup and more people that are reaching out every day to be on the podcast, which is amazing. And, before we even start into the trivia, we really got to throw back to, all the hard work of our team and, shout out Faria, our social media, our whole marketing team, really without them and our crew that we have, our pod squad, I like to call everybody. And
Yeah.
my Monday meeting emails. Without everyone's hard work, this really wouldn't be possible. And a shout out to our listeners. Without everyone downloading and sharing, all of you, we really, really appreciate it. And we wouldn't be here without you. And then also our advertisers. We've grown in our advertisers and in our industry support. Skills Canada, now AWMI.
Mhm.
Our advertisers are Canada Welding Supply, Joseph Gases, CanaWeld, and Miller Electric. Without you, we are able to travel and make sure that we are front and center of what's coming up in the industry and being at these events and sharing experiences and these people that we meet with our listeners, so which is so key in what we do. So a shout out to everybody. Really
Shout out.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
And it's cool to look back now that we are in our
In our senior years.
senior years. This is
in our sunset episodes.
Yeah. To us, it's our 5th season, as we like to call it. But it's been, well, for me, it's been as a podcast manager since 2021,
Mhm.
which is now 3 years, which is wild. For you, it's been 4 years, four and a
Mhm.
bit, four and a bit,
Yeah.
which is, wild because I kind
Yeah.
of came in once it was already rolling and I was just,
Yeah.
got to put my Flav on it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
I really don't do much. Max does all the hard work. I just, press buttons and
That's
send
not
emails.
true. That's not true. You do a lot of hard work.
Yeah. But it's kind of cool to see, even in my 3 years of being here, to see how much we've grown.
Mhm.
Check out this fancy backdrop that we have.
Mhm.
Thanks to our graphic designers at CWB.
The microphones, the camera setup, the
Yep.
software, the full-time editor, marketing team. I
Mhm.
mean, there's a whole machine that helps the show come out and sound great and look great.
Yeah, and our advertisers, when you guys started the podcast,
We had zero.
0. Nobody knew about it.
That's right.
I remember, when we went to our first time we brought the podcast in person was at FabTech Chicago 2021. And nobody, like, it was like, oh, you got the podcast? Like, it was, I think that show really kind of brought it open. And there really wasn't other podcasters. I mean, Art Junkies, shout out Jason. There wasn't really that many that actually had a presence, whether it was on the show floor or in a meeting room or, us, we were walking around with our microphone. And it's cool to even see the industry of, that a lot of companies are realizing the importance of podcasts and how valuable of a platform it is. And there's a lot more podcasts that are out there, which we love. We love seeing that. And we've collaborated with numerous of them, which is
it's the
fantastic.
fastest growing media avenue in the world right now. So, yeah, and that's all because of us.
No, but
it's fun being a guest.
You can say whatever you want. We're just gonna beep it out later. No.
Wow, I don't believe.
I might have to do some editing. But no, I mean it's just cool to see. I mean, these new cameras that we have. Hopefully the video quality is better, and we had our cell phones that we we really had to kind of figure it out as we go, and we had our little pop-up banners, and I
which we still do.
We still do when it's needed, and we had the issue at
Orlando,
FabTech in Orlando, and our beautiful banner.
Hurricane Milton ate it.
Yeah, it got lost in the UPS realm. So this actually just showed up on Monday and picked it up and hit the plane on Tuesday. So we were fortunate that we were able to get a new one in time. So, but it just goes to show kind of how much we've grown and changed over the years. So, which has been awesome. And that we are celebrating our 200th episode. We also hit a very important milestone, which is we hit 50,000 downloads.
Yeah.
And since I actually prepared for this episode 2 weeks ago, we're actually at 52,000 downloads now.
Oh, good.
So in 2 weeks, we were actually past that, and we're at 52,000 downloads.
Next stop, 100K.
Yep, we have our milestones that we are keep thriving towards and keep aiming towards. So, looking back, Max, what did you envision when you first became the host of the CWB Association Welding Podcast? Obviously, whenever we start any kind of project, you have your thrives. You're not just jumping into it without a plan. Have we surpassed the plan? Did you even think this was possible, of how much we've grown in a short period of time?
Yeah. I mean, yes and no. I dream big. I mean, I always dream big. So, I like to dream big so that things don't shock me when they do well, and I don't really believe in failure. So I think that the podcast has organically grown as the industry has grown. We try to keep it organic and honest. We don't edit. We don't cut. We try to keep it as
don't
real.
Don't provide questions.
Yeah, we try to keep it as real as possible, and I think that is just gonna stand on its own. Do I see more? Yeah, I can see bigger still. I can see more growth. I can see different angles. I can see things changing. Things evolve over time.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be a day where I'm not gonna be the podcast host. Right? There's things like that.
Back up.
Well, I didn't say you. Okay. This is, I mean, we may find someone, but there's always,
you're just not allowed to leave.
There's always an evolution of how these things work out. So I'm very proud of this podcast. And, to be honest, I'm really proud of how we managed to do the podcast and do it so well when we're in the midst of actually running an association on the other end of it. Yeah. So this is like just a piece of all the work we do.
Yeah.
And it's the piece that people see a lot of, but it's because it's visual and it's out there in the media. But this doesn't mean that we're not doing our day-to-day jobs, which is also a lot. So
Yes, it is. We had these discussions today where we're both like, I feel like we need a week off. Like, it's just
if anyone can figure out how I can take a week off, I'd be very interested into knowing how.
We're just not allowed. It's just but but it's good. I mean, it's better to be busy than not to be busy. I mean, if we didn't have any programs running, what's the point of us? Like, what's the point of us being here if we're not giving back to our membership, if we're not promoting and advocating for the skilled trades and the welding industry? So, I mean, we're doing all right.
Well, look at the other podcasts that we've forced other people to pick up their game, right? Like when we started, it was Arc Junkies and us, and Tips and Tricks, and there's a couple out there. No one was really doing the conference circuit. We kind of got into the conference circuit with the podcast. We were the first ones to do it live off the floor and actual like lights on, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Then we did the cross pods, and then we did like a live audience cross pods. All of these were new, never done at conferences. So, trying to be innovative. And I mean, now go to FabTech and there's, 8 podcasters out on the floor, and there's people booking rooms all over the place and setting up their footprints. And, I feel like we were kind of the OGs. So, I mean, time goes quick. It's only been 4 years. How OG can you be in 4 years? But this is still kind of new, right?
Yeah. We have our milestones. I mean, it just goes to show, 50,000 downloads and 200 episodes later, and in less than 5 years, which is amazing. So we're thriving. We hope next year to hit up some new conferences. We've kind of done the same ones now for the last few years. So now next year, kind of looking at where else can we bring the podcast, in Canada or North America.
It's about stories, right? So we got to find the stories, and stories are everywhere.
Yeah. And it's the point of highlighting those personal journeys and their careers. And we've had so many students that, listen to the podcast, and professors that, listen to the podcast and share it with their students. And, I still always go back to that comment that we got, I think we had an educator email us saying that, they use the podcast in their classroom and they make it into a presentation and, pick an episode. What did you learn? What did you know? And that's what we love to see, because we're highlighting personal journeys, but we're also highlighting those career opportunities and those tips and tricks and how somebody got from point A to point B and maybe to point C and D and E and wherever they, wherever they got to. But it's, that's why we're here to do it. And I think we've done a great job so far. And we really appreciate, again, all to our listeners and advertisers, because we've got some plans for next year.
Well, you're the podcast manager, so you're going to have to let me in on these plans at some point.
Yeah. Just waiting for my budget to be approved.
Me too.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
We are getting ready.
All right.
Before we get into our trivia questions, I think now is a great time. We're going to take a break for our podcast advertisers. So make sure you tune in. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we're going to take a message. We're going to listen to the message from our advertisers. Thank you.
The CWB Association is new and improved and focused on you. We offer a free membership with lots of benefits to anyone interested in joining an association that is passionate about welding. We are committed to educating, informing, and connecting our workforce. Gain access to your free digital publication of the Weld Magazine, free online training, conferences, and lots of giveaways. Reach out to your local CWB Association chapter today to connect with other welding professionals and share welding as a trade in your community. Build your career, stay informed, and support the Canadian welding industry. Join today and learn more at cwbassociation.org.
And we are back here on the CWB Association Welding Podcast, celebrating our 200th episode. A huge achievement and a milestone, and we're so proud of it. And we are here in person at the AWMI annual conference in Nashville, Tennessee. Max, what do you think so far? Am I doing a great job?
Yeah, you. I mean, there's always things that can be done better. You're doing well. You are trying to.
I don't have my hands in the air.
Yeah, you're doing good with your hands. You haven't hurt yourself yet, which was good because you've already done that twice today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good job.
Thank you, Max. Make sure we're going to document this for my review.
I am.
Making notes. Okay. So we talked about why we're here.
Yeah.
We've, established,
200 episodes is pretty
200
cool.
episodes. So cool. Shout out to our listeners, to our
If
advertisers.
you're 200 years old, also cool, but
I don't know if I'd want to be.
I do.
Really?
Yeah, I want to be a vampire. I want to live forever.
Really? Isn't there technology now that is like trying to
You know,
preserve
like
you.
cyborg stuff. Yeah, I'm down.
I'm not down.
100%. I think the universe needs Forever Max.
No, oh my gosh. Your wife is like, no, thank you.
Yeah, she's not going to sign up.
No, she's like, done. Watch, you might, while you're sleeping, you never know.
Yeah, that's a good way to go.
All right. We are going to get into our trivia.
All right, trivia.
Got my questions here.
And for the record, this is mean because I have a terrible memory.
I know
So,
this is
so if I forget anyone or misspeak, it's 100% not my fault.
you'll never live it down.
Well, I will eventually, but people forget.
All right. Well, we only have 12 questions, so
Okay.
you will survive. We got this. We're gonna make it. I'm gonna go easy on you. Don't worry. The first question, super
Okay.
easy one. If you cannot remember this,
Wait, is there points or something, or do I get a prize?
no.
Oh, wow. Okay. Good incentive. Here we go.
All right. Do you remember who your very first podcast guest was, and when was it released?
Well, wouldn't my first guest have been Adam Sebastian? No, who was it? Oh, no, who was my... No, it was Kevin. Was it Kevin? It was Kevin Waugh, wasn't
Yes.
it? I knew it was a local boy because I would have picked on my local friends
Yeah.
first. It would have been Kevin Waugh, and it would have been in October of November, around then, maybe August or September, somewhere towards the end of the year, I think.
Off to a rough start.
Yeah, of 2020. Yeah.
September 9th, 2020.
Okay, I said end of the year. September's pretty close.
You said October, November.
Well, they'll end with embers. It's close. All right. Half points. Half.
And actually, an interesting fact, that episode is our most downloaded episode of all
Still tracks
time.
well.
Still is our number one downloaded episode, which is really cool to see. I mean, you know, we know Kevin. He's an awesome guy. And we've done a few episodes with him now.
Yeah, we've brought him into the fold. We've done projects with him.
Yeah.
And I mean, his career is blooming on its own, so it's good.
Yeah. So I mean, that was
Shout
like
out Kevin R306.
We miss you. Hopefully we'll see you soon.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Okay, that's like a half a mark because
Okay, I'll take a half.
All right.
I didn't do very good in high school, so I'm good with half marks.
Okay. Well, I wanted to embarrass myself a little bit. See how good you remember this, because I feel like this is an easy question.
Oh boy.
So
I already know what it is.
before I worked for you, and you actually interviewed me on the podcast. I didn't even know you, nothing. It was like hey, we have a new staff member here at the CWB. Pretty cool. You should interview her. And so you asked me to be on the episode. I was episode 15 to be exact.
Okay.
And I embarrassed myself so badly that I begged you after the episode to please remove that section of the episode.
I did not.
And Max right away was like, nope, it's good. I'm like, but I'm a new CWB staff. Like, why you gotta do me like that? And
Because we're
it's
the raw, real story.
It's still there in that episode, and I cringe every time someone brings it up, or if I listen to it, when it was released, it was
So what's the question?
okay. So, do you remember? Oh gosh, do you remember what the welding program name was that I got wrong?
The West program.
Do you remember what it stood for?
The welding training.
Sound like me in the episode.
Yeah, and that's what she did. She was the coordinator for the West program.
Whoa. Back it up. Okay, so when I first started at CWB, I was the assistant program coordinator. I forget what the full title was, but assistant welding instructor. I think that's what it was. And so I was freshly new. I think when we actually did the interview, it was like my first week.
It had just finished your first week of that course.
Like it was freshly new, and in the way that the job came up, it all happened all very quickly. And so it was called West Welding Employment Skills Training.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. And you asked me that question. What does West stand for? And I froze so bad.
And I laughed.
I will never live it down. So now I know that acronym out back of the back of my head.
The program doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Because of Daniela.
No. Government funding ran out, but it was a great program, and you've actually met some of the West students.
Yeah, and we have new programs that are
Yes.
just like it, that are fantastic.
We have, and shout out to all the West students that came through that program. I've seen them a few times at FabTech, and I love seeing them.
One of them works at CWB now.
Yeah,
So-
different program. That was a different program, but it's really cool to see, over the years, when people take advantage of those government funded programs, and then they thrive afterwards and through their career. So love seeing that. All right, we already talked about this, so this should be an easy one. Where was the very first place we took the podcast to record in-person episodes?
Before you or after you?
After me? We never took the podcast. Oh no.
Oh, double trivia. I uno'd you back.
Come on. Where did you take the podcast before me?
Oh,
Nowhere.
did I?
No, you didn't. You're trying to trick me. See
It
what
was
you're doing there.
Chicago,
Yes, it was Chicago.
2021.
Correct. With a little bit of attitude in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
trying to get me. Well,
and I'm pretty sure that was only a few weeks before I even started as a podcast manager. Like, I was still fresh.
yeah, you had never done anything like that before.
No.
Like, I don't even think you had never been to a Fab Tech.
FabTech Canada I had been when I was in the industry. But I had never been to a FabTech US, and that was pandemic too,
Mm-hmm.
which was wild even. So,
We were
just
traveling
throw
with
me.
COVID kits and
Yes.
and all the masks.
And that was the time frame when if you got COVID, you had to stay isolated into your hotel for
in your
2
hotel.
weeks.
Yeah.
And that was nerve wracking. I mean, that whole week UPS lost our boxes, and you're like, where are they? And I'm like, I don't know. It was a whole,
I was
Yeah.
walking around in a wife beater and
no, that's different conference.
that was it. Oh,
Yeah.
whoops.
Oh, and see now, look, coming back to haunt you. So in Chicago 2021, that was the first time we met Ray Ripple. We
Mhm.
interviewed her. We met David.
Stephanie.
We interviewed David Madero,
Mm-hmm.
Ivan Eller. We
We-
also
We had that weird little room.
yes, yeah. Greg Culp and Alex Jordan. We had a really great.
Oh yeah, Alex.
Yeah.
Babyface Alex.
Oh, don't be mean.
Why? He does have a baby face. That's awesome. It's
No.
good.
Alex is awesome though. Shout out Alex. Check out his channels. But yeah, that was really like our first time meeting everybody, and that was the first time you met, I think, Jason Becker in person too.
In person, yeah.
Yeah.
He helped me get the podcast off the ground though. Before it got big, before you.
Yeah.
I reached out to him online to be like, yo, I want to start a podcast. Can you help me? And he was super helpful. Told me what type of gear to buy, what I should do, how to stream it. And he gave me lots of advice.
And now you're
We're-
that person
we're-
giving advice to
Yeah,
others.
we're still homies.
Yeah. We love Jason, and we'll still do multiple cross pods, together, and now we have other podcasters in the mix too, which is awesome.
Yeah, we're growing.
We've grown. So nice. All right. Question number 4.
4. Okay.
Okay. Episode 61, we celebrated Black History Month with a special guest from the East Preston Empowerment Academy. Who was the guest?
That was my man, Frederick Crawley from the East Coast.
You are correct.
And
Good
he is
job.
now working with the Nova Scotia chapter. Last year they
Oh.
did that wonderful program where
Oh,
they did
that's
that
right.
training
Yeah.
for
the aluminum.
all black people. Oh, there was a whole black class on aluminum welding, and they all graduated and got employed.
Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And without those people in the industry,
Mhm.
like that's how you succeed and how you keep growing. So
He was also his family was connected to the Underground Railroad and the loyalists of original black slaves of North America. Yeah.
that was a really good episode. So if anybody has not listened to episode 61, I encourage you to do so. Okay. How you feeling so far?
I'm 5 for 5 or 4.5 of 5. So
We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. This one you should know. And if you don't, we're going to have a discussion afterwards. Okay. What are the DEI theme months we strive to represent and advocate for each year? And I'm going to go by this year because we actually added a new one into the fold.
oh man.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot because
Start
I
at the beginning of the
believe
year.
I believe in advocacy. I volunteer not just with I volunteer in a lot of stuff. Starting at the beginning of the year, so January, February. So that's Black History Month is March.
Yep. February.
February, and then March is Women Empowerment. It's also May Day.
Yep.
April's nothing because it's no. What's April?
What's new that we added into the mix this year?
Oh, okay, April.
What did we highlight in April, Max?
Was that women's?
No.
April.
Our chapter member.
Oh yeah, Volunteer Month. April is volunteer.
National Volunteer
Volunteers.
Appreciation
Right.
Month.
So, okay. So I'm down.
It was new this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where we help spotlight volunteers in our community.
Yeah, in our membership.
Yeah, and then May is I don't know what May is.
I'm kind of enjoying you watching struggle.
Yeah, my brain is. June is Pride.
Yep.
May is. Ooh.
So far, we don't have anything in the month of May.
Yeah. Okay. So there's
Not
nothing
yet.
in May. Yeah.
Not yet, at
So
least.
June and then July, August we take off for the season. I mean, we still work and do podcasts, but we don't do any DEI. Then July, August.
It's vacation season.
Yeah, and September. There's another one in there.
Yep. What did we celebrate?
Well, there's National Hispanic Month in September, but we didn't do it officially for DEI this year.
No, but who knows? Maybe next year.
Yeah.
So we always on September 30th.
Right, we have to do a reconciliation episode.
There you go.
So I got 3 out of 5 on that. So okay.
So right now we have 5 that we always aim to make sure that we advocate for, and we've had some really great episodes.
Oh yeah.
And we still stayed in connect with those and connections, and we've had a lot of feedback on those episodes, so which are truly important that we have on our channels. And but yeah, we have
love always wins.
Yes. And there we definitely can see what else we can add into that. We always want to advocate for every unrepresented community in the skilled trades and the welding industry.
And we're always looking for more guests.
Yes.
So if you know anyone in those groups, let us know. We'd love to interview them.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out. Okay. Question number 6. This is also an easy one.
No, you say that. But that's like when teachers say that, you know it's going to be hard.
If you don't get this one. Okay. What 2 podcasts did we start a new tradition at FabTech USA with?
Crosspod.
What are the 2 podcasts?
Crosspod.
With who? What?
Arc Junkies and Welding Business Owners Online. Welding Business Online.
Welding Business Owners Podcast. Yeah. And this year we
added
welcome
Torch Tales, Frankie Vargas.
Yeah, into the fold. And who knows, maybe next year we'll switch it up again.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to do 5. I feel like that's too busy.
Yeah, but we can switch it
We
up.
could fire everyone and we'll just go back to 2.
Maybe,
You're the podcast manager.
Hey, maybe we're going to be on the big FabTech stage. Maybe.
I've already been on the big FabTech stage.
Okay, I'm saying for the podcasters, our podcaster forum, maybe we have 5 people, but it's on the big stage. You never know.
Yeah, I could probably
go big or go home.
I could probably make that happen.
No,
not a bad idea.
There's a SME. There's a great idea. So we're gonna circle back on that one. I think that's one to strive for. Okay, what are we on? We're on number 7. All right, here we go. In episode 73, we met and interviewed Beth Kitson at the NASCC Steel Conference in 2022.
Denver.
Yes, that's correct. What organization was she from that has led to many more collaboration opportunities for us? This is the easiest as they come.
Was it? Is it?
Mm.
Is it AWMI? Is it the Association for Women in the Metal Industries?
You are correct, sir.
The very, very organization in which we are in their conference hotel right now. Wow.
I was kind to you. I threw in the easiest one possible.
I like how you said easiest, like a WWE wrestler.
Hey, that's a yeah.
Okay. How am I doing?
Could be better. Could be
Am
better.
I passing?
To
70's
be
100.
to be determined, but could be better. Could be
Okay,
better.
well, let's see.
Not
I
bad.
got 6 more.
I had to
5 more.
also look back and think hard too. So
Yeah, you probably wouldn't have known either.
I researched.
Yeah, and I got no heads up. So
Yeah, this was like, we're doing this, and I have papers that I printed.
yeah, and you got like notes and stuff. I got a coffee.
That's the point of being the guest.
Yeah, no, I'm ready.
You know,
I'm
the
here
host
for it.
has their notepad and their pen, and we're going at it. Okay, number 8. Known for his welding humor and technical demonstrations on social media to help grow the welding community, in episode 123, we interviewed the Doctor of Welds. Who is it? Who is the Doctor of Welds?
The Doctor of Welds. I don't know people's
He taught me
monikers.
how to Texas dance at
Is it
in Fat Tech.
Austin?
Yes.
Is it Austin? Austin?
It's
Shout
the
out
Dr.
Austin.
Well, shout out Austin
Yeah.
from Weld.com.
He's awesome. He's awesome, and he's a good dancer.
Yeah.
Very handsome young man too. He does well. He's got nice hair.
You're jealous of his hair.
Well, I'm not. But some people may be.
Yep, but he's doing great things, and
Mhm.
I always enjoy watching his videos. He's helped
They're very
many.
witty
They're very witty, and he comes up with like the funniest stuff, and I'm like, that is hilarious
and very useful tips.
very useful, and he's not
Mhm.
just funny. He knows what he's talking about,
Mhm.
and he's done lots of demonstrations. I mean, Weld.com, they go all over the place as well. We also enjoy working with them, and
Yeah.
and
guys.
they're a great team over there. So yes, you got that one right. Good job.
Phew.
Okay, number 9. We have interviewed 2 World Skill Team Canada welding competitors. Who are they?
Winners?
Winners. Or sorry, competitors, welding competitors. Who have we interviewed?
Okay, well, the
That
2
we're on.
winners that have been on the show have been Adam Sebastian and Ben Rainsforth.
You got that right. Good
Yeah.
job. Shout
Because
out Adam.
I work with those guys.
Yeah.
We help them.
Yeah, we have a full episode with Ben and Adam as well.
Mhm.
But the most recent one was with Ben at
Ben, who just got 3rd in the world for
Woo-hoo!
welding. Canada, number 3 in the world.
Yeah.
Behind China and Korea, which is hard to beat them.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah,
pretty damn
pretty good.
good. How do you think you would do if you got to go to World
If I-
Skills?
Like, I mean,
if young Max over here had the opportunity when, how old do they have to be? Like 20?
you have to be under 21.
Okay,
to
so
go to
20-year-old Max, if he...
I would have been welding for 3 years, but I had never gone to school. I didn't apprentice.
Mm,
I did the dumb way. I think I would have done okay, except for the TIG, because I wouldn't
Okay.
have had really any experience with it at that point. But then again, they train. So if I would have been in a
Yes, yeah.
training scenario,
if you were like,
and I was
I'm
getting
working towards
yeah,
this.
I feel like I would have not done as well as them. I mean, I was always a good welder, but I was never the best welder.
Right.
You know?
You were the efficient welder.
Quick. I like
Yeah.
to plan. I'm a planner.
Yeah, which nothing wrong with that. I think I'd be cool to go. I'd love
Well, I
One
mean,
day,
If
one
I
day.
would have known any of those things,
yeah.
like I just was focused on making a paycheck.
Yeah.
Didn't think about any of all that cool stuff that I could have done. You know?
Yeah. Oh, I always anytime I'm like my cousin who's in high school, it's like get involved with your provincial skills, and like
Mm-hmm.
we've gone now to, I mean, I've only gone to a few now, but the National Skills Canada competition, like it's insane. And like until you go, you don't realize like how insanely
How big
cool
it
it
is.
is.
Yeah.
and all these young students that are competing at this level, and they're the top of their class, and they're
Of their field.
of their field, and then you're there with one other person from another province, from every other province, competing against you, and like that's wild to think about that you're.
And if you ever get a chance to go to Worlds,
one
times
day.
100, like it's insane.
Do we have room in the budget?
Well, I've been to one.
Maybe.
I've been to one.
Maybe.
I'm looking forward to going another one.
Where's the next? Have they released where the next one's gonna be?
Shanghai.
Oh,
I believe it's in Shanghai, China, which I've always loved, dreamed of going to China.
there you go.
But
I don't know if I'd survive. I don't know.
yeah, you're kind of a. I think
I'm
you're
a picky eater.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it on air, but
It's
you might
okay.
starve to death in China.
I'm aware. I don't think I would. I feel like I would. Yeah.
I'm sure you can find chicken tendies and spaghetti somewhere in
But
China.
Do they have McDonald's?
Yeah, oh yeah. There you go.
Some nuggets, some fries. We're good. I could survive off that, maybe.
Come back with scurvy, but you'll be fine.
All right. Well, on that topic of Skills Canada,
Okay. All right.
question 10.
Okay.
So this year, we recently just released our second season of the Skills Canada series. Can you guess how many in total episodes have we released?
Between the two,
Between the two, yeah. Which is a lot.
31.
So close. The correct answer is 32 episodes. So
I thought it was 16 and 15.
no. So season 1 was 14 episodes, and season 2 was 18
We did
episodes.
that many episodes. We worked too hard.
No. But I mean that's 18 experts and competitors we did, and that's all from different trades, like all the different fields. So I mean, there's
and
a lot.
in 2 languages.
Yes, and in English and French. That was our first time.
That was hard.
First time having a French host. Shout out Kevin. He did a great job. I mean, as we know, it's a nerve-wracking, that was his first time really doing it.
Yeah, he was much like you were
Yeah.
today.
And we couldn't help him because we couldn't understand what he was saying.
Yeah, well, je ne sais pas.
Yeah. Je suis désolé, je n'ai pas parlé français. That was my one line.
In all of Quebec, over and over.
Yeah, that's all I knew. We both need to work on perfecting
On
our
our
French.
Francais.
Yeah. But that was, the first time we even our editor, we got those episodes edited in French, and
The marketing, the logos, the
Yeah.
write-ups, the transcripts.
everything. And
Holy.
yeah, but I mean, we live in Canada.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
learned
it's-
with the support.
We learned, we support even, Spanish as well. We've done some Spanish episodes. So we're always growing and learning, and I think it was a success. And who knows, next year we're calling you back, Kevin, maybe.
Well, where is it next? It's in Regina. There ain't gonna be no French episodes in Regina. We're gonna
Never
have to have
know.
some honky tonk. There'll be some line dancing going down there.
Can you line dance? I don't know if
I can do all dances.
I don't know if I want to see that.
You've seen me dance. I'm smooth.
Hard pass. All right, we're getting near the end here, Max.
11?
We're on number 11. There's
11,
only
all
two
right.
more to go. You are surviving. I'm putting the hand away.
I'm acing it. I'm
Yeah,
acing
no,
it.
You're doing all right. You're doing all right. I put in some easy ones in there for you. Okay. Last year we released an episode celebrating Black History Month with 3 special guests of welding
man.
apprentices from Halifax who took a chance on what program and from what company.
Okay, so the company is Irving Shipyards,
Yeah.
and the program. Oh, I don't know if I remember the name of the program. Not one of ours, is it?
No.
No, it's not. Yeah.
It's a wonderful program that Irving Shipyards does. It's called the Pathways to Shipbuilding Program.
Okay, yeah, I dropped it.
If
I got
anyone's
half right.
if anyone's interested in more information, you can find it on their website. But that was another great episode.
Yeah, it was fun. Young people coming in, not sure what to do, get in with the program, and then at the end of the program, you have a job waiting for you. I mean, what more do you want?
Yeah. And it's kind of fun. I like when you have more than one guest on the podcast. I
Do
think
you?
I
It's
do.
tough though.
I'm sure it's tough for you to navigate, but for I'm just speaking on behalf of our listeners. I could be wrong, but it's fun, watching it. Like I like seeing many faces on the screen, and on YouTube, we release video as well, not just the audio version. So I like it. I don't know. I think it creates more conversation. It creates, everybody has a different voice and a different journey and a story, and it's kind of cool when all those different journeys come together with, whether they're in a one
They have a common
program,
thread, yeah.
a common thread. It's just nice. Instead of having to listen to 3 different episodes, you get so much in just one. So it's nice when we do it once in a while.
Yeah, I don't mind. Just I always really focus on making sure everyone has the same amount of speaking time. Some people always speak more than others.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's true. Okay.
This is the last one.
Last one.
I'm sitting at about 78% in my mind.
I don't know.
Calculations.
We'll have to watch the tape here.
Well, I didn't see a rubric, so I don't know how legit this is. So
It will not be on your review. Don't worry. All right. In episode 129, you talked to Polish-Canadian visual artist,
Agata.
printmaker, and welder who is an inspiration to the immigrant and queer community. Who was it?
Agata.
Agata Durda.
Yeah, Agata was a
Oh
awesome
my gosh.
guest.
I want to meet her in
I
person.
had so much fun with that episode.
Yeah.
I'll never forget her. Her story was very inspiring.
Yeah, very, very inspiring. That's another one. Please make sure if you have not had a chance
From
to listen
Poland
to it.
to Ireland, from Ireland to Canada, welder and artist now, and just a wonderful story, and like a tragic, a hard story, So there's inspiration there to see people battle through tough times and come out the other side. So
Yeah.
it was good. She was very inspirational.
Yeah, I really hope that we, cross paths with her and we actually get to meet her in person.
Well, we gotta reach out. If you don't ask, you don't get. We
Yeah.
gotta find her.
That's for sure. She's not too far.
Where's she?
She's in the Toronto area.
Is she GTA? Yeah.
All right. I just have a few other questions.
What? Okay, you said 12, but
Trivia.
now it's going extra questions.
As my young son would say, trick ya. Okay, no, I just wanted to throw this one in there because I know it's hard to choose.
Well, you're gonna ask me for my favorite episode. I can't do that. I can't do that.
I know there's so many. There is.
Here, I'll put it this way. My favorite episode is the one I'm about to record
Oh,
because I'm excited to see what I'm about to find out.
that's true.
Right?
That's
So
a very
I
good
see
answer.
people coming in and log in, whether it's online or in person in front of me.
Mhm.
And first of all, I have to get them to relax.
Yeah.
Then I have to get them to kind of put their guard down, a little chit chat. You've seen me do it a million times now.
Yeah.
And then I just get them to start talking. And the whole point of me as a podcaster is for me to talk as little as possible and have them do as much talking
So I'm
as
doing a terrible
as
job.
possible because it's about their story. And I just want to put in my 2 cents here and there to make them feel like I'm understanding, I'm following, I'm listening. And I like that. I like that process, And I've been working on that process for a long time. So.
Right. I mean, I guess I've done a
You're
terrible
new.
job.
You're green. You're green.
Blah, 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 blah. Max got 2 words in this episode.
So as long as I passed.
Yeah. No, you passed. That's a great answer, and I know it is. I was even looking back, just being like, because I listened to every single episode. I listened to it too in our editing process,
Mm-hmm.
and then I also listen to it while I'm driving, as anybody. I have it in my loop. And it is hard. It is hard to choose because there's so many. I do want to highlight just a recent one that I just listened to, that we had a few weeks ago. Is the one that we had with the ladies from Murray's Welding.
Oh yeah, that was fun. They were
Again,
super cool.
where having
and there was a couple
3 other-
generations there. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just a really
And
important
Megan
episode.
sent me that awesome gift. Shout out to everybody there at
Yes.
Maurice's Welding.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we
The
had
book,
it.
the cup, the keychain,
You have all the swag,
all the
from-
cool stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't deserve it. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I wish we had it here on the table. Like it would be so cool. But yeah,
It was
that
a feature at my Halloween party.
Oh, was it?
Everyone
Love
dug it.
I love it. I wish that we could put an actual microphone in it. It was like a
We
microphone.
can.
Hmm.
I scoped it out.
Oh, did you? It's honestly, check out Max's social media. I know you shared it and posted it, but I mean, well done.
Beware of my social media, though. It's not just welding.
Pepperoni.
It's also my turtle. So you've been warned.
I love when a company promotes. I mean, here we are again. It just kind of goes back into the theme of why we're here, at AWMI's annual conference, and to see, a company in a small town, in the north of Ontario, to promote and advocate and actually support and provide those mentorships and opportunities. They weren't just on their podcast. We had them featured in our Weld magazine, and I think it's just so awesome to see, such young females working at a type of company like that. And they're just all for it, and they're actually providing that support for women, because something that gets talked about at every conference we go to, the 5%, of women in skilled trades, and we have not improved that number. And it's, we do so many programs and work into, the foundation. We have the Women of Steel camps, and, the Mind Over Metal camps, and, so many different associations promote women in the steel and welding industry. And it's, the retention. How do we, once we get them through the doors, how do we keep them there? And, from what we heard from in that episode with Maurice Welding, you're seeing it right there of,
that's how you do it.
That's how you do it. And it's a great example. And I mean, companies, anybody, like, that's a perfect example to listen to. And I wanted to highlight that because it really, like.
So you were hoping I'd pick that episode?
No, but that was that was my most recent one. I mean, we've had so many great guests, and that was just one of the most in the last few weeks that I've listened to, and that we had on the podcast, that kind of really.
On the what?
On the podcast.
On the what?
On the podcast.
There we go. There we
go. Sorry. Now, we talked about other podcasters out there, and even actually at the last Fab Tech, some new ones getting into that are just starting out, and they're dipping their toes into it. And if they could say, hey, they were able to ask Max a question, what tips or tricks or suggestions could you offer somebody, off the street, said, hey, Max, I want to start a welding podcast, or I want to start a plumbing podcast, or trade podcast, whatever it may be. What piece of advice would you give them?
That's, well, number one, make sure it doesn't already exist. So find your angle. I mean, there could be 1 million podcasts on plumbing, and every single one of them could be different. So you just got to make sure you find your niche. And in order to do that, look at yourself, because you don't want to talk about right? So look at what you know, and then that's your connection to the podcast. Number two, keep a release schedule and stick to it, right? If you're going to do once a month, you do once a month. If you do twice a month, it's twice a month. But once you go, you got to stick to it, because if you catch a follower, you got to hold a follower. So you slip up, they're gone. They don't come back, right? So you got to make sure that once you got them on the hook, you keep the content coming. So it's got to be a gig. And I mean, I get that lots of people just like to do a couple podcasts and try it out for fun. That is what it is. But if you're looking to do it for reals, you got to figure out your niche, how you fit in it, what you can contribute, and then that schedule is, because then you got to build the brand, right? You got to have the whole brand. Like, we got our brand, we worked on it, and the Art Junkies, Weld.com, Tips and Tricks, all the big podcasts out there, they all got a brand. Me and Jason, for example, we talk about this all the time. We'll interview the same person and get two different stories because we come from it from different angles, right? So it's you don't wear that out. You can just roll with that for a long time.
Yeah, no, great piece of advice, because we keep running into and connecting with other podcasters, and we like doing podcast swaps. You be on their guest or on their episode, and they are on our episode. So we love doing that, and we're always welcome to it.
Yeah, we're openly swapping podcast.
Okay, well, not when you put it that way. Now, if anybody that's listening to this episode, wherever they are in the world, because we've had guests from all over the world.
Mhm.
I mean, I feel like we need a map.
That would
And
be kind
like,
of fun. Yeah.
yeah, and then like every time we have a guest from a different area,
Put a pin in
we
it.
put a pin in it. I think
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we need to do that because we've had Germany, Switzerland,
Mm-hmm.
Chile,
Mm-hmm.
the US, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Where else? There were some other ones on there.
Mm-hmm.
Drawing a blank. Yeah. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Others.
Anyways, and I'm like, I feel like we need to strive to get somebody from every country and every
You want
area.
to hit every country in the world.
I feel like that'd be so cool. Yeah.
That would be neat.
You have
But
to
I
learn
mean,
some other languages.
We'd have to make them all
Yeah.
speak English, which is a little bit rough. But
Yeah. But I think it's
maybe
really cool.
with Google AI, we could work that through.
Ooh, you never know. In the next few years,
Mm-hmm.
we can have a whole. Actually,
Man, that would be kind of neat, eh? Like a universal translator, like Star Trek. Oh yeah.
there is. I don't know what app it was, but my brother, he tricked my whole family. Whatever he used,
Sounded like him.
he recorded a whole video of him talking in English, but it translated in his mouth into Italian,
Mhm.
and like
That's
the words
perfect.
coming,
Yeah.
it was perfect. Like he tricked my grandparents, he tricked my parents, and I was like, no, this guy no parle Italiano. Like he doesn't speak Italian, and but it was so believable.
Well, that'd be, I'm down for tech. I love tech. So we'll see what the tech brings because, I mean, even with the podcast and what we're doing at the association, we're always looking for upping our tech game. So
Yeah. So quick question before we, wrap up the episode here. Anyone that's listening, if they want to be a guest on our podcast, how do they reach out?
DM me on social media, AskMax75. Reach out to the CWB Association. We have an info@cwbassociation.ca email, or just go to our website, cwbassociation.org. All our information's there, and reach out to us. Or, I mean, you got local chapters across Canada. We got connection points all over the place, and they all funnel back to us.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much, Max. You've been a great sport on this episode. And
I passed.
You
I
passed. And thanks so much again to our listeners for tuning in. Please make sure you are sharing, downloading, liking, commenting. We have a new text feature. Send us a text. You want to, we love feedback. Got any questions? We'll answer them during an episode. So feel free to text us as well. You can find that on our Buzzsprout page. And thanks so much, Max.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thanks. And again, a big shout out, all of our listeners and our advertisers, Canada Welding Supply, Miller Electric, Joseph Gases, and CanaWeld. We couldn't do it without you. So we'll see you next time.
We hope you enjoy the show.